Welcome to day 6 of Learn Python for AI. In today's session, we are going to continue from where we left off yesterday. We have completed our loops yesterday. And today on day 6, we are going to learn more about the next concepts. So let me share the practice links here on chat. So people who are watching us live on our social channels, you can go ahead and use the chat option to interact with us, right? So let me share the practice link here. You can find the practice link in the chat, right? So this will be a short session wherein we are going to learn a few basic principles, right? So as we have mentioned in our previous sessions, that you will be able to join our masterclass, which is happening Saturday at 7 p.m. So the link to the masterclass also will be shared, and you can go ahead and join us live directly in the masterclass, where we are going to share more insights about how you can join the community of 1050 plus Web3 and AI professionals. Right. So let's proceed and parallelly, yes, Rahul. Yeah, I'll be sharing the link for the masterclass as well. So let me go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and register here. There. Yes. Yeah, so the link is on the chat. Here. Right. So if you go ahead and see the practice link that I have shared, we are going to revise the concepts that we have learned previously in all of our 5 days, right? So let me share my screen. I'm going to go through each of the exercise, which will give you a glimpse of whole of the 5 days that we have covered previously, right? So we've started on day 1 learning a little bit about print statements and variables. We've understood how variables function. We've understood what all types of variables we can print. Like we have seen that a print statement can print strings. We have also seen that a print statement can also print arithmetic, right? So it can also do that. We have also seen that it can print something called variables. Like, for example, I want to print number and say number equal to any other arithmetic also. So it's going to do that. So if I'm going to run that, so it is going to even print that. Print statement can, hold this print these variables along with strings in combination as well, right? So now this is where we have, understood the concept of variable. Each variable could hold different data, different types of data. Like we can see that here, if number is one variable, and here, if I'm going to put double quotes and say hello, and instead of number, let me name my variable as a result, right? So I'm going to, in results, first, have string, then have a number, right? Then post that, I can have something called list, right? So you can have square brackets, and you can say in this brackets, you can have a list of numbers or a list of strings also, right? So it's going to print all of that. So we've understood variables and print statements here on the day 1, right? So then we proceeded on to our day 2, right? So what we did on our day 2 is we learned about conditionals. We have seen an example, right? So one of the example here is this grader exercise. So I'm going to first go ahead and run with that particular exercise. So the exercise here states that you can see if a student gets 90 or higher, give him a A. if she gets anything between 65 and 89, give her a B. Anything below 65, he should receive an F, right? So I'm going to paste these comments here as we try to run it. So we have seen that how we were able to work with these statements, right? So you can do something like, if a variable says score is greater than or equal to 90, right? Then here in this particular statement, I can say print grade as A. And similarly, if you go forward in else if statement, you can do something similar where what do we do? You say if it is anything between 65 and 89, you're going to do that. Like if the score is less than or equal to 65, and we are going to use symbol and operator and say score is greater than or equal to 89, then print grade as B, and then if not, it's going to print grade as F, right? So this is what we have written. Only thing right now we have to give is score, right? So if you say the score is 25, let's go ahead and try to run this and see if we run into any errors. It says grade is F. If it is anything between 65 and like let's say I'm going to say 80, right? And the grade is okay, it's greater than equal to, okay, so I have to do less than equal to, right? So here you should see the condition here. If it is greater than or equal to 65 and less than or equal to 89, right? So you can run this and you can see that the grade that got printed is B. And if at all you give any other grade which is higher than 90, you can see that the grade that got printed is A, right? So this is what we've learned in conditionals, right? An if condition, and we have understood what will be a condition, and later based upon the truth of that condition, we are going to print one particular statement. Here there could be a lot of other statements, like a block of statements which are going to execute when this particular condition is true, right? So this is how this works. If condition is false, you can see that there is an else if condition where it checks the condition if this is true or not. If this is true, then print grade B, else print grade F, right? So this is how it works. Now, after what we've learned in conditionals, we went on to functions. In functions, we converted the same same exercise into a function. So how did we do that? We say definition, and we are going to say definition name of that particular function. Let's say you can say grader, and then you're going to say score here, right? So you're going to pass on the score here, right? So rest everything remains same. Now I have taken all of this code below the function. Now this is the definition of the function. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a function call. Like I'm going to say grader, and I'm going to pass a number, let's say 45, right? So what this will do is first 45 will be passed in place of score, and score will become 45, and it will check if is score greater than or equal to 90. Is 45 greater than or equal to 90? It is false, so it will go here and it will check is score greater than 65 or less than 89. Then it will be false, then it will come here and print grade F, right? So I'm going to run it. So you can see that printed grade F. Right? So what happens here is now you can see that sometimes you need not have to know what function definition you have, right? Somebody might have written this function. I'm going to just use this arrow to hide it. Now you need not have to know there's one layer of abstraction, and you can always go ahead and just go ahead and use this function. I'm just going to run it, and you can see that it is going to give me different results, right? So it is giving me B if it is between that logic, right? So you do not have to know what is there in the function, right? So this is one good way to work with functions. Functions let you make blocks of code which are reusable, right? And it will help you integrate with teams. Like one person can work with a few functions, the other person can work with a few other functions, and in total integrate all together into a bigger use case, right? Or an application. So this is what we learned in functions. Then later on day 4, we have learned about lists. We have created lists. I'm going to take one particular list here, and we are going to learn more from there, right? So in this particular list, what we are going to do here is, let's say we are going to take this numbers list. It's very simple. So let's, because we are revising, the concepts becomes easier, right? So I'm going to take two, this particular function. You can see that there is a numbers variable which has items 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Now, if you see that here we are trying to do an arithmetic based upon accessed values out of this particular array, right? So what we are on in this, from this particular list. So if you see here, print numbers of 0, what is going to happen? It will pick the first element which is at 0 and say 5 plus numbers at 2. So whenever whatever is there at index 2, it is going to pick 0, 1, 2. So it's going to say 5 plus 7, and it will return that particular output. 5 plus 7 will be 12. And then similarly here we are going to print numbers 1, the first element in that particular list, multiplied by the third element in that particular list. Third element as in the element which has index 3, right? So if I'm going to run this, you can see that it printed 12 and 48, right? So we can do a lot with lists, but this is what we've covered, and another detailed exercise also to work with lists of text also, right? So you can even have lists of text, right? So let me go ahead and give you an example of the same. So we had one list which had names family equal to different strings, and if you are going to print that, right, I'm going to print family. You can see I can add more elements, and I'm going to print that. So it's going to print all of that list items as well, right? So we also worked with text lists. We also worked with numbered lists. And then yesterday we have revised or come across the concepts of loops, right? So in loops, we have understood, we have made a while loop and a for loop, where we were able to see how to, work with problem statements which have repetitive logic in there. So I'm going to use one of the simple logic that we have used, the for loop, right? So I'm coming here using the for loop here. Now what we are doing is this particular syntax of for loop goes this way. First, we are defining something called range 1 to 6. Now this is an inbuilt function. What it does is it creates a list which starts from 1 and goes till 6 minus 1, right? So it will go to one element before this particular argument that we have passed. So it will go from 1 till 5. So if you pass 11, it will go from 1 till 10, right? So now we can see that for number. So now what this number does is it starts from 1 and goes till 10, right? So first it will be 1. Then this particular statement will run, and then it will print number into number, which will be 1 into 1, and automatically it will pick the next number in range, which will be 2, and it will print 2 into 2, and it will do that till it reaches 10, right? So if I'm going to run that, it's going to give me square of all these numbers in the range, right? So you can see that with just 2 lines of code, you're able to do something repetitive. And this could be large also. I'm going to, if I want something from 10 till 100 or 101, if I'm going to run it, you can see that it was able to run such large repetitive statements also very quickly. And it gave me a square of every number, like 25 square, and similarly, it went forward, right? So this is what we have seen in loops as well, right? So if there are any questions, you can ask us in the chat section. Let me just check if there's anything. Yeah. Hey, golden age legends, right? 12. Yes, you are right. When we worked with that particular, list, the output was 12. You are right. Thank you so much for that. Right. So, which city you are from? Golden age. Nice username. Great. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Lakshmi, for joining in and sharing your inputs. I would do request you to go ahead and also register for tomorrow's masterclass. It's going to happen at 7 p.m. IST. Here, you will be knowing more scope about what is the AI landscape like and how you can take your Python learning journey forward into data science and translate into a complete AI professional. So all those details will be shared, right? So the link to the same also is there on the chat. So let me share it once again here. Yeah, so you can go ahead, register here. Masterclass. Great. Amazing. So we have a few questions. We have Vijaya ma'am who asks, I am a teacher. Would this be ideal for me? Right. I assume maybe you can also mention what subjects you teach, ma'am. Great. Science. Yes, absolutely, ma'am. If at all you are, from any background, if you're able to understand the syntax of Python and are able to understand a few examples that we've given here, and you are able to practice it also, I'm 100% sure that you will be able to go forward in this journey, because we have in our community members who are teachers, who are homemakers, who are people who are shifting careers, people who have career gaps, and they are all doing good. The only thing that requires is, the initial step of giving this particular skill set some time, right? So I request you to go ahead and, attend the masterclass so that you will have more clarity as I know how you can suit yourself, how you can take your teaching journey forward, right? So there are even very good teaching, good, nicely paid teaching opportunities even in these particular skill sets also. So the benefit would be you would be teaching, also improvising your skill sets, upskilling, and then towards once you have that confidence and you are ready, you can go ahead and even apply for companies where they are looking for data science and data analyst roles, right? So slowly you can transition like that. Parallelly, keep upskilling. Parallelly, keep applying for jobs, and you'll be 100% good, Vijay ma'am. Thank you so much for the question. Yes. Yeah. So if you have any question, you can even put it in the chat box. Great. So we have Rahul who says, I'm in 4th year of my college. Will it be ideal? So Rahul, we have people, like, because now you are in a 4th year, you would be soon out of it. So basically, you need some real time, real world, IT skills if you are willing to transition in this space, right? So you are definitely going to learn more about your own skill sets, because you are going to challenge your own mind